spend hundreds of dollars in the App Store buying in-game
many
currency.
people do, right?
Oh, bro, it's $205 billion industry gaming because of the microtransactions. $2 here, $5 there, $4 there. Because if you're playing a game you enjoy, what's the difference between that and going to the arcade?
Do you remember this? The weight of a new box. The smell of a freshly printed manual. The promise of dozens, if not hundreds of new hours in a world you already loved. This was the era of the expansion pack, a time when getting more game meant getting a lot more game. These weren't just a few new maps or a fancy new hat for your character. These were seismic additions, sometimes so significant they felt like sequels. They added new campaigns that continued the story, introduced new factions that rebalanced the entire game, and gave us new units and mechanics that fundamentally changed how we played. But today, the landscape of post-launch content looks different. We have season passes, battle passes, cosmetic bundles, and of course the ever-present $5 horse armor. The very idea of an expansion has been unbundled, sliced up, and sold back to us in a dozen different ways. So, how did we get here? How did we go from the monolithic expansion pack to the microtransaction? This is the story of how game expansions became DLC and, in the process, shrunk. In the late 90s and early 2000s, PC gaming was in what many consider a golden age, and a huge part of that was the expansion pack. These weren't afterthoughts, they were often planned parts of a game's life cycle, developed with the same care as the original. Take Baldur's Gate, Tales of the Sword Coast. Released in 1999, it seamlessly integrated into the main game, adding new quests, 4 new areas, and raising the level cap. It offered a solid 20 to 30 hours of new adventures for players who had already sunk countless hours into the original. It wasn't a sequel, but an enrichment of the experience. Or consider Diablo's expansion Hellfire. While not developed by Blizzard North, it added a new character class, new dungeons, and a host of new items and spells. It was a significant, tangible addition to the world of Tristram. But perhaps the pinnacle of this era was Valve's approach with Half-Life. The expansion, Opposing Force, didn't just give you more of the same. It flipped the script entirely. You weren't Gordon Freeman anymore. You were one of the soldiers sent to clean up his mess. It was a brilliant new perspective on a story we thought we knew, complete with new weapons and a fresh campaign. And then there was StarCraft Brood War. To this day, it's hailed as one of the greatest expansions of all time. It didn't just add content, it perfected the game. With 3 new campaigns, 7 new units, and significant balance changes, Brood War transformed StarCraft into a global esports phenomenon that is still played competitively today. These expansions were so impactful because they offered incredible value. For a fraction of the original price, you got a massive extension of the game you love. But the way this content was delivered was about to change, thanks to the rise of the internet. The term DLC, or downloadable content, seems like a modern invention, but its roots go back further than you might think, and the first company to truly embrace it might surprise you. This is Total Annihilation, a real-time strategy game from 1997 developed by Cavedog Entertainment. While it also had traditional boxed expansions, Cavedog did something revolutionary for the time. Starting that same year, they began releasing new content for the game every single month for free, directly from their website. These weren't just patches or bug fixes. Cavedog was giving away brand new units, giant mechs, futuristic tanks, and powerful aircraft that expanded the game's already massive roster. It was a way to keep players engaged, to keep the game feeling fresh and evolving long after its release. This was, for all intents and purposes, the first true implementation of DLC as we understand it today, post-launch content delivered digitally. Of course, this was the era of dial-up, so downloading even a single new unit could take a while, but the precedent was set. The pipeline for delivering content directly to players, bypassing the need for a physical box, was now open. The only thing missing was a widespread, standardized platform and a way to charge for it. And for that, we have to look to the world of consoles.
For years, the idea of downloadable content on consoles was a pipe dream. But with the launch of the Xbox and its online service Xbox Live, that began to change. And with the arrival of the Xbox 360 in 2005, the floodgates opened. Xbox Live Arcade was a revelation. It offered a curated space for smaller, digitally distributed games that you could buy with a new digital currency, Microsoft Points. This marketplace wasn't just for new, smaller titles, it also created the perfect infrastructure for selling add-on content for bigger retail games. Suddenly, the concept of a map pack wasn't something you had to wait a year for in a big expansion. In 2008, if you bought a new copy of Gears of War 2, you got a code for the Flashback map pack on day one. 5 remastered maps from the original game. It was a taste of what was to come, content that was ready at launch but portioned out as a bonus or a separate purchase. But the moment that truly defined this new era, for better or for worse, came in 2006. Bethesda Softworks, the developers of the massive open-world RPG The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion, released a small piece of downloadable content. For $2.50, you could buy armor for your horse. The backlash was immediate and fierce. Players accustomed to the value of massive expansion packs were baffled. Why would they pay for a purely cosmetic item in a single-player game? It seemed absurd, a blatant cash grab. The horse armor became a running joke, a symbol of everything wrong with this new model of DLC. But here's the thing, it sold a lot. Bethesda and Microsoft had stumbled upon a crucial realization. There was a market for small, inexpensive purchases. Not everyone wanted to wait for a full expansion. Some players were happy to pay a few dollars for something small and immediate. The horse armor controversy proved that even with vocal opposition, microtransactions could be incredibly profitable. The genie was out of the bottle. The era of the small, paid DLC had begun, and it would pave the way for the next evolution in post-launch content. So, have we lost something in this transition? In a way, yes. The magic of a single massive expansion that revitalizes an entire game is a rarer beast these days. The value proposition has shifted from large, infrequent purchases to smaller, more frequent ones. But this evolution has also brought benefits. Games are supported for longer than ever before. Communities are kept engaged with a constant flow of new things to do. And for many, the free-to-play model, funded by these smaller purchases, has made gaming more accessible than ever. The journey from the hefty expansion box to the 100-tier battle pass is a story about more than just business models. It's a story about technology, changing player habits, and the endless quest to give us just one more reason to log in and play. The expansion pack didn't die, it just broke apart, adapted, and became the very foundation of modern gaming.